Hello everyone, Penman, welcome back to another episode of Motor Monday. Today we're in the West Coast. Well, a very mid-tier, if not terrible vehicle to show off, but nevertheless, I think it's just a little bit underrated. But I present to you the bane of my entire existence on this channel and on YouTube, the 1980 to 1982 Bruckell Legran Belasco City Police Department. It is probably the most depressing vehicle performance-wise I have ever put together. Yeah, not good. So essentially, in the age of the 1980s, in the age of where V8s were the entire powerhouse of the American police force, and V6s and I6s were all kind of dead inside to the police. This thing existed in the BeamNG lore of Panda Man. Yeah, it's got a 3.8 liter V6, so we'll give it that. It's a pretty good size V6 for what it is. So here's the 3.5 or I forgot what it is already. I think it's like a 3.8. What did I just say? Yeah, 3.8 V6. And and the torque on it, the horsepower, it's kind of depressing if you ask me, but this is it. It's got a very crowded looking engine bay. It's trying to compare itself to like one of the Moonhawks with all its components here, trying to get that much space, but there's a little bit here and a little bit here. And they put the engine transversely. Transversely? Is that the word for it? No, I'm just gonna say, plain speak here. It's they put it horizontally, so yeah, I guess it's a nice, well, actually, put it this way, it's a nice car for like certain aspects of city life, like like fuel economy and stuff like that, but you don't have much else with it. So, without further ado, let's start this thing up. It does have a nice interior, though. I'll give it that. Yep, so we have just over 191 pounds of torque and just under 160 horsepower. So, are we catching any of those big beasts from the 70s or 60s with their, 400 plus cubic inch engines and, 300, 400 plus horsepower? Probably not. We're not even gonna catch most of the 80s sports cars, but we can sure try. So, let's drive around a little bit. We'll get into a little bit of the history of this thing. Whoa, that's reverse. Yeah. And this thing also has front wheel drive, I'm pretty sure. Does it? It doesn't have enough torque to really spin the wheels, so just give me a second. No, actually, it has rear wheel drive, so that's good. It gets a point there. We'll just lower the in-game audio real quick. But yeah, this is the torque. It also has a 3-speed automatic, so it's kind of like put it this way. When the Italians came over, they from Italy, they turned fettuccine Alfredo and all that, like Alfredo sauce and all that, into chicken broccoli Alfredo. So this is the chicken broccoli Alfredo. It's like an Italian-American dish, while the Alfredo is an authentic, just regular old, Alfredo sauce with, fettuccine or something like that. Is actual, authentic. So the Moonhawk is the Alfredo in this situation, and this is the chicken broccoli Alfredo. Now, both taste pretty good. It's just for authenticity, you would prefer the Alfredo, the regular old fettuccine Alfredo. But it does get up to speed pretty good. I'll give it that much in terms of performance. But other than that, it's kind of actually we can probably drag race it with the Moonhawk. I think there's a drag strip here somewhere. Yeah, there is. We'll have to drive around a little bit. But anyway, so this was originally going to be the. Let me just put this somewhere. We'll just put it. Yeah, we'll just put it right here. Anyway, this thing was originally going to be the replacement for the Moonhawk before the Moonhawk came back. And I'm very glad it didn't, because there's not really many good V8 mods of the Legran out there. And even then, it just wouldn't really be the same. I think on the NYPD version of this car, there was V8s. But those were, I don't know how, but those were like so grossly underpowered, it wasn't good. Like if I knew about the torque curve UI map or UI app, I probably would have tested them, but yeah, they weren't good. They like, 200 horsepower if you're lucky. But yeah, there's but yeah, it has the, the usual, 80s police car look to it on the interior. It has no tachometer. The speedometer goes up. Actually, it doesn't go that high up now that I'm thinking of it. It only goes to, what are we doing? Yeah, it only goes to 85 miles an hour, but yeah, that's all good. Well, 140 kilometers, I don't know how much that is, I'm gonna be real. I don't know. I can't really do that, I can't really divide by 1.6 right now. My brain's kind of sloshing around right now. Because I just got off of ATS, if I didn't say so earlier, and the amount of gear shifting and all that I had to do. I'm almost glad to come back to the 3-speed automatics that I'm so used to. Or the 4-speed manuals, if anything. But anyway, so history, besides the Moonhawk replacement shenanigans, this thing was, I'm pretty sure I first brought this out. I can't remember if I did, it was it was a request. I can't remember if I did, driving on holy gasoline first, or if I did one way or another first. I'm pretty sure I did holy gasoline first, and this was out for the first time. But yeah, yeah, I mean, as much crap as I give it, it's not that bad of a... It's not a terrible, car. It's just... It just, if it doesn't have a V8 in it, Panaman doesn't like it. So, yeah. Well, no, if it doesn't have a V8 in it and it's a police car, I don't really like it. But I will say, I will be very interested into seeing the an i6 on a Burnside, because they did have those. Like Ford and Chevrolet both offered I think it was the deputy special for Ford. I don't know what they had for Chevy, but it had like an i6 in it. They said it was like really good fuel economy, and it still had a decent amount of horsepower for an i6 at the time. But yeah, let's see it. We'll just go right on red. Anyway, then I did go through some trials and tribulation, more back to the history. I did go through some trials and tribulation with the V8s, because I was trying to put it up to the specs of the 1980s I think it was the Diplomat. Yeah, Dodge Diplomat. And they kind of, I don't want to say they went well, like, this was a good, like, shoe-in for the car, but it was, like, kind of decent. What is this? Is this like a... This is weird. We'll just ignore the street laws for now. But but like, the Dodge Diplomat was like the underpowered excuse for a police car of the 80s in real life. And this thing, the Bruckell Legran, is the underpowered excuse for a police car in the 80s on BMG. So they kind of go hand in hand. And I think I did get their top speeds relatively closely. I'm pretty sure the Diplomat was a V8 or something like that. Or no, V8, but it went like 118, I think. But yeah, it hasn't really seen that much action from the BCPD side. Maybe it's been in 2 videos, but it has been in the... Actually, I might have pulled it out when I did that very, very short-lived mystery series that kind of should have been a one and done type of thing, but yeah, I think the rear-wheel drive on this thing is a relatively new thing. I'm pretty sure back then it had front-wheel drive, but yeah, this thing is also I think it's based off of a Chevy Celebrity as well. So the CHP actually used a few of these for God knows why, God knows what reason. Hey, we got some air. Oh, we're gonna eat it. And it doesn't have ABS either, so that's always fun. Just a reminder to be very, very careful when braking. But yeah. And other than appearances, this is one of the reasons why I thought we should pull it out, because I haven't pulled this thing out in so long. Like, I think the last video we've actually done, it was either a children's story or actually no, that was the latest appearance, not children's story, since those were all grand marshals, but the that were chasing the kid. But stressed out, that was the 80s. This was the car for the 80s BCPD. So that was good. Other than that, there's not really much else. Like, 3 videos. Like when you look at the Grand Marshal, it's been in like, like 15 or 20 videos, or actually no, probably closer to 15. And you look at the Moonhawks, they've been in like most if not all my late 60s to 80s music videos. And then you just have this thing, which has been, in 3, like, even the Burnside has had more screen time. Yeah, but I'm thinking we can go over to the drag strip and try to drag race the Moonhawk. We'll cut it some slack though, and we'll actually, I don't think there's much slack we can cut it here. How about we just race the 78 Moonhawk? Where's the drag strip? Oh, okay, it's over there. Alright, so we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. And we shall start the drag race. Let me just make sure something real quick. Okay, we're good. I just didn't want OBS to like freeze on one frame like it sometimes does. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so this is the 1978 448. This is the 1980 to 82 35 V6. So let's real quickly, let's start this in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Yep, it's gone. 0 to 62 in 10 seconds. Fourth mile, 17 seconds at 81 miles an hour. And can we get our half mile in before we inevitably die? Yep. 27 seconds at 95, and I don't think we can do it. Alright. And here's the other car that I would put there. I didn't want to go through all the effort to set up a drag race. There's a way to do it, it's just, there's like one way is like put a do like a record thing. I've only used the record thing once in my entire, like, you know, YouTubing thing here, and even then I didn't even like that was for my first video, and I just kind of figured that I could get similar, if not in some ways better results on just using the old OBS thing. You know, like you're in free cam and you're just, you know, field of view, you know, external also helps. But anyway, so yeah, that's not good. So that thing 0 to 60 was 10.6 something seconds. So let's check the top speed of this thing. Or actually, we have yet to check the top speed of this thing. But 0 to 60 on this thing. We already know this thing's top speed is around 130-ish. Yeah, six seconds. I have a feeling that can probably change, but yeah. It wasn't even putting its foot to the floor. It was almost to the floor, but not to the point where the wheels were turning in. So let's see if we can go all the way back, because this is gonna take us a while to get up to top speed. If not, we can just get on the highway and try to do it. And also for the light bar, this is the MX7000 code 3. Hmm. 899. I don't know what this is geared at, but we do have the early sport intake on the Legran, so that's pretty much the reason why it's not anything over 11 seconds, the 0 to 60. So, but anyway, we'll have to. You know what? How about we like we'll chase a sports car from like, I don't know. I'll get a really detuned, like, yeah, ETKI series. Let's see how fast this thing is. 120. Okay, so this thing might just out. The ETK just might outrun the Legran, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for it. So. Actually, that's something we should do for Motor Monday next. I know I have already went over the German police car that I used in Life as a Highway, but like, just to get a more in-depth review of it and chasing people. But anyway, so this is yeah, let's do it. Let's put an 80s siren into this actually. Yeah, why not? You control Omega. Actually, that's not it. I think it is. No, that's not. That's what the LAPD used in the 80s or in the 90s and the early 2000s. Here we are, the Unitrol. There it is. Very annoying siren. Wow, that's actually really annoying. Okay, so clearly, oh boy. Nothing happened. Alright, let's get back in, high speed. Alright, so we're pretty much on par with acceleration, and we're actually catching up to him pretty good, so... But then again, I think that's an I6 in this thing, so we'll just pause this real... Yeah, it's an I6 versus a V6 pretty much. So American V6 versus a German I6. So apparently I6s are supposed, or like anything in line with like is supposed to perform better than like the V of the same cylinder. So it's like an I6 will perform better than a V6 usually. I think with certain cases, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, the strongest I6 isn't gonna, you know, it's obviously gonna outrun the weakest V6, but I just don't know how true that is. I don't know. So we're on the left side of the road. Apparently we're Commonwealth now. And we cannot get up to third gear for the life of us. Oh no. Scraping the side, but we're good. We are not good. We are good. We are good. Are we pulling it all? We didn't even have that much damage to it, so, you know. Guess we're good. Oh, we took that turn way too bad. Yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, so since me and Tunnels don't necessarily mix all that well, for some reason in this video, we're on the highway, and I think we're close to outperforming. Yeah, we're outperforming the I6. Actually, no, we're on par. So I guess with a police car that's supposed to be, you know, since this is the 80s and, you know, the police car is supposed to be one of the fastest cars on the road. It's not like the 60s and 70s where they were the fastest cars on the road, but you know, it just kind of seems like we're devolving with police cars. It's like, you know, when police cars were first around, they, you know, they were not outrunning anything. Then, you know, like 40s, 50s, and actually no, 50s and 60s rather, they started outrunning everybody because they put, you know, better radiators. They could outlast the bad guys better, and they could outrun the bad guys a little bit better depending on what car you were in, you know. But now it kind of feels like we're devolving, you know, like police cars aren't usually the fastest cars anymore. Like, you know, with the actually with the Dodge. Actually, no, the Dodge Chargers are gone now that I think of it. So, you know, it's like, you know, maybe the, you know, police car can, you know, still be a very fast car, and it's still one of the, you know, one of the faster cars, but it's definitely not one of the fastest, you know, with like, you know, the scat packs on the Chryslers nowadays, the all these supercharged and turbocharged cars and all that. It's just I don't know. This is why I like to stay in the 70s on BeamNG. But of course, make no mistake here, a police car can still catch up to most cars. It's just not as well. Although I think the hybrids nowadays are pretty fast. I mean, dare I say that? You know, not a big hybrid guy, but yeah, well. You know what would actually be cool for a police car? A hybrid V8. They have those on supercars, I'm pretty sure. Like hybrid V8s, hybrid V12s, and all that. Are we getting brake fade? I don't know. So clearly, this thing needs an upgrade. Because we're catching it, so I kind of want to have a more... Actually, no, we're fine. We're fine. Anyway, like a hybrid V8. I wonder how the fuel economy would be. Especially nowadays. I don't know. Or you could just go back to, you know, the regular old naturally aspirated V8. Those are fun. But the... Oh, no. Alright, let's put the siren on. I put a different siren on as well if you didn't hear at the start of the video, or at the start of this chase. Alright. I'm pretty sure this thing doesn't have ABS. Let's check it real quick. No, it does not. I was about to say, because it just seemed like really smooth braking, but then again, that could just be the brake fade catching up. Eh, well. Shit. I almost said the S word. My bad, my bad. But dang, that's another thing I need to add, actually. The braking power on the, on all these cars were very good, since these cars always had the really good brakes. I think Fords generally had the best, because they had, Dodges as well. They had to, because, because of their vehicle's top speeds. You know, like, anyway, yeah, I've read somewhere that Fords had like really good power brakes. Very, very good. And also just engine braking as well. Just in general, that's another good way to stop a car going at that big of a speed, but... Oh boy. Also, like, cop cars also have, like, vented, Hey, I remember this place. This is... Actually, I think this is where we... I'm pretty sure this is where, during that, like, Velasco City playlist... We did... that's where the last chase stopped. It was, like, the 60s to 80s playlist, and we had, like, Long Tall Sally, and, I'm Coming, and The Heat Is On. And by that lighthouse was where the getaway truck? Or the getaway vehicle got away. Or, didn't get away, he got caught, rather. Oh, come on. Okay, I think we need to get rid of this car now. Okay, let's see if we can pit him on this very, very dangerous looking road. There's no such thing as drafting, unfortunately, in the 80s. Probably because the bumpers weren't really, you know, they're not steel anymore. That was a very dangerous shift into first, but we had to do it because we were gonna die. Here it is. There we go. I think that's how we stopped the last guy. Alright. Here we go. Oh. Alright, here it is. You get out of the car. Okay, okay. Alrighty, now step out of the car. Mr. ETK. Yeah, there we go. And, well, this thing can catch up pretty well. We still haven't found out the top speed, actually. So let's do that, although let's do this... Yeah, let's do it right here. With a little bit of help from our boost. So let me just... Well, first off, let me just get rid of the parking brake on this thing. Let's boost it again. Let's boost it one more time. $129 is this thing's top speed, so that's, I mean, for an... Oh no. Anyway, for a well, post-oil crisis V6, well, that's not, or, actually no, because the oil crisis really only majorly affected the V8s, but anyway, for like an 80s V6, that's actually really good. I think the most, in my opinion, one of the most, what's it called? Impressive 6 cylinders is probably the Jaguar XKE or the E-Type. That thing's i6 because you can get it up to 150. But this is pretty close to 150, 130. That's not bad at all. We probably could have done here, but yeah. Overall, I think this is a pretty good car. It's actually, it performs, I think, better than the... Actually, no, it doesn't. I think it's on par almost with the Diplomat, other than the fact it goes 130 and the Diplomat does 118. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, just do a last minute look at the interior. What is that? Unleaded fuel. We got the air conditioning, defrosters, driver information. Wow, actually, that's kind of weird. Driver information system. ETA. What is this thing? A navigation system? I'm curious. Center console. So what's here? Couple. Oh, yeah, you can get a manual and automatic console shifter. Police radar. That's actually, that's kind of cool. But anyway. Let's look at the sport real quick. Because we can get this thing calibrated to a better speed, but not very nice. We are most certainly not doing that. I kind of forgot about that, to be fair. This is like the Mad Max interior, like the what's it called? The gauges. Actually, no, it's the... Oh. I thought the warnings, like, for, like, the brakes and all that were different, but it won't. But anyway, I think we're coming up on that time, so I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. We can, I'll definitely be doing more with this if we do something in Belasco in like in the 80s or really just in general. But yeah, because there's no Moonhawks for the 80s in Belasco with this paint job. But yeah, You can also probably check out the other vehicles that this thing has, or like the relatives, like the Proximas and all that. It's like the 90s and late 80s version of it, so that'll be fun. But until then, we will see you next time, and yeah, this will probably be the last upload of today. I'm already at 2 videos, so we'll keep it there. But anyway, see ya.